Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. It looks like we got what we're looking to get. Pop up, and there we are. See how gorgeous we look. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to I don't know what edition is. I don't even know what episode this is, but welcome to Live from my mother's basement. And obviously, we're nowhere near the basement. We're not in my studio in Los Angeles, California. No, we're at my friend JayCee Driesen's house in Florida. This is actually Lake Worth, Florida. And as you can see by the ornaments behind us, JayCee is a billionaire. Thank you for coming on my show.
Thank you for having me on your show.
We said that loud enough, huh?
This is so much fun.
Folks, I got to tell you that JayCee and I have done many shows together. Many. In fact, we were talking tonight before we started this broadcast about the shows that we were doing in 2012. Wow. And for the first time, I got to go over somebody else's house who's an extremely well-known entertainer. And what do I see on the wall? An autographed picture of me to you. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen that. So thank you.
I know.
I really appreciate that.
You're on the Wall of Fame.
I made it to the Wall of Fame. It's right by the bathroom. It's amazing. I'm on the bathroom wall. I've been on a couple of bathroom walls. It's true. You ever go to, well, I don't know how it is in a ladies' room, but sometimes you go to comedy clubs and you're peeing and you look up and it says, who's coming next week?
Oh, yeah. They do that all the time. They
Yeah,
have
bars.
flyers all over the place. Yeah.
Right. Well, we're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to have some music because JayCee is a vocalist and an entertainer. And we're going to talk all about her career, how we know each other, and people we can't stand. And crumb cake from Entenmann's and some other donuts from a place called Dunkin' Donuts because we're both from the East Coast. So tell us, where exactly are you originally from?
Well, I was born in Brooklyn, but grew up in Massapequa, New York. I'm a Long Island girl and spent a lot of time on Long Island. I've only been here in Florida for full time. It's 2 years. It's like hard to believe.
I didn't know that you were born in Brooklyn. Brooklyn?
I was born in Brooklyn.
Bensonhurst.
Bensonhurst.
You have a lot of books in your house about
78th Street in Bay Parkway. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's a tough neighborhood.
That's where my mother grew up. You know, that's where it was all happening.
Right, because she's a nice Italian girl from a nice Italian family from Brooklyn.
Listen, Italians and Jews, we all talk with our hands. It's the same thing.
She talks with her hands. But the Jews fight with money and the Italians they fight with baseball bats. So it's all with the hands.
So true.
So how old were you when you stepped out of Brooklyn?
Oh my God, I was little. Mom, oh my God, I didn't move out until Long Island. Let me see. I was like 2 or something. So I spent my whole time on Long Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're a Long Island girl.
I am a Long Island girl.
Big hair from the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah,
I saw your pictures.
Loved it.
The good old days, the fun
Good
stuff.
old days. The higher the hair, the better. Big
Aqua
head.
net, baby.
Staten Island hair,
Staten
Jersey
Island.
hair, Snooki. Although I just saw a picture of Snooki lately. She was on a talk show. Her hair's not big anymore. It's flat. I was like, what happened to the big Snooki hair? You know, but whatever.
Yeah, well, I never was a big fan of Snooki. Jersey Shore made us look all like a bunch of knuckleheads, but then again, I did have my heyday in the 80s, so maybe we did the same thing, we just didn't film it. Or did we? Long Island kind of looks like this area in the summer. Didn't you grow up near the water?
Yeah. Well, I grew up in Massapequa, which was close to the water. We were not on the water. And then I lived in Freeport the last 15 years before we moved down here, and we were on the water, which was really nice. We were on a canal, and we had a boat, and it was very nice, and I miss it very much, even though, you know, I don't know if I miss the snow that much, but
Well, hey, you know,
I do miss the Four Seasons. We don't have that
I
here.
miss the Four Seasons too. What a great group. One of the silliest things now, if you're watching the news, it just snowed on the East Coast.
It did.
A little.
Yeah.
It's March, really. Tomorrow's first day of March. They haven't had any snow. You didn't see Thanksgiving snow. You didn't see Christmas snow. You didn't see New Year's Eve snow.
Right.
There's no snow in January, and this whole month of February went by. There's no snow on the East Coast. And guess where there is snow? California. California, right? There are
Yeah.
areas of California that are getting pummeled with snow in an area where it never really gets snow, and it's getting closer and closer to Los Angeles. Could you imagine all of a sudden there's like a whole reversal, and New York City becomes Hollywood, and Hollywood becomes Denver.
Wouldn't that be
Denver,
insane?
Colorado. Good. Stay there. Leave us alone. I mean, I live out there, but I don't even like being out there anymore.
They say everything's changing, the weather, everything's changing. So who knows? You never know.
Well, when you were growing up back in the day in Long Island, when did it come to your world that you wanted to be a singer?
Oh, I always, when I was a little girl, I always sang. My mom used to play piano, and I used to sing show tunes. That's the way it was growing up. I grew up in a split level house. We had the big bow window, and we had the drapes, and I would stand in front of the big drapes, with my hairbrush. And I always dreamt of being on stage, and there was just something that I just knew that was something I wanted to do. And I always say, I mean, this may sound crazy, but I do say that everybody should get divorced at least once in their lifetime.
Why, it helps you write a song?
No, but
I'm going through a divorce. Give me some paper.
no, that's a country artist that does
Is that right?
Yeah. No, it's
She
just
don't left me with my shoes on.
it's the fact that you finally do what you want to do for yourself. Because a lot of times women have this, what they do is they try and mold themselves into what the man wants and forgets about themselves and kind of thing. So when you get divorced, you kind of like realize what you want to do for yourself. Music was always something I always wanted to do. And so it just, after I got my first marriage, went into I went and I decided to, do this professionally.
Okay, but so for me, when I was in junior high, when I was in grammar school, when I was in kindergarten, when I got to high school, all I ever wanted to do was be an actor. I was always on stage. And if I wasn't on stage, I was pulling pranks on my friends. I would go down the basement, I'd entertain my family. I'd tell stupid jokes. I would always actually imitate TV commercials. Because you remember there were jingles on all the TV commercials, and it would make you repeat it.
Yeah.
Use Ajax, boom, 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 the Blue Dot Cleanser, boom, 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 boom. And I used to go around doing that. And my family would get out the little camera and go, oh, look, oh, Michael, he thinks he's nuts.
Yeah.
So, when did you start doing the actual singing?
Well, I always, when I would hang out in my, with my friends, we'd be singing along to all the music that we loved. We were back in the day listening to Joni Mitchell in my room. Growing up in Massapequa, I had a big picture of Joni Mitchell on the back of my door, and I would be singing to all of her albums. And I was into, music that I was into then is not the music I'm into now. It's like weird. Like
I can't even think of Joni Mitchell. Who is that?
Joni Mitchell, come on.
Well, I mean,
Really?
I'm not a vocalist.
Okay, Joni Mitchell, Carole King, Carly Simon, music like that, Grateful Dead, the Allman Brothers, all music like that, the band, up on Cripple Creek, she sends me if I spring a leak.
Oh, yeah, that song.
You know the band?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Grateful Dead.
I remember the Grateful
come
Dead.
on.
All right, let's stop real quick because we're getting a lot of people who are writing in right now. Folks, you could support the show, and I thank you very much by sending us a little bit of money. I don't even know exactly how to do it. It says right here, during this broadcast, you can support the page by sending stars and digital gifts. So when you do that, when you send a star, when you send a digital gift, we hear a bell ring. It goes bing, bing. We get all excited that we made like a nickel, we made a quarter, and we really appreciate that. And I want JayCee to hear the fact that right now she's being watched by people in England right now. We have people watching in Italy right now, and we have some people watching in Australia. They're actually on this camera right now. You see them right over here.
Wow, that's so cool.
So stay up, Mr. England, and keep on watching. And that's actually a radio show in England. So maybe someday you would like to have JayCee sing
yes.
on the show. So JayCee Driesen, it's almost 1:15 in the morning. We'll stay up.
Wow.
We'll keep you up. She's going to sing some songs, original songs. So don't go anywhere, folks. This is about to get hot. I like to just start off with where this all started And why did this young lady come into wanting to be a singer and a big star? Loved you at the township. Who?
Who?
Well, we both did it. We both were there. Was I there? Was I at the township?
You were there.
Were you at the township?
I was there. Who?
Wait, it's somebody Jewish. Weiss Meisner. She's married
Oh,
to
that's Michelle.
Hey, Michelle. How
Hi,
you doing?
Michelle.
We loved you at the township,
Oh,
too.
thank you, sweetheart.
Both.
Oh, she like both of us. Yay,
Well,
Michelle.
send us some money. Come on, hit the goddamn thing.
Oh,
Hit the digital
how
star.
Awesome. Thank you, Michelle. That's very sweet.
All right.
You know, so they're watching from England. So every now and then, what happens is Jillian pops out of it's my alter ego. All of a sudden, I start talking like this, and I don't know why. It just happens. It's
I like
kinda
it. I think it's
like
cool.
an Aussie kind of thing. I don't know.
Aussie. No, you sound
You know,
like
it's like
you sound like
Cockney.
very Cockney.
Cockney. I think that's
Which
what
is
they
like
call it.
yeah. When they sound like they got like a stick stuck in their throat. Who's the singer that's got an unbelievable
Are we
thick
talking
accent? I
about
can't even.
Adele?
No, not Adele.
Oh,
There's
I
another
love
girl I liked a
Adele.
little bit
I
better than
love
Adele.
Adele. Don't like Adele. I love Adele.
You're doing a cruise on March 11th?
I'm doing a cruise.
I
on
just got
March
invited
11th.
to your show.
What?
That's
What?
fucking whacked.
Mike, join us on the JayCee cruise. Oh, that's right. I have a group cruise going on March 11th. Mike, you want to come on the cruise with us?
I think I'd like to go on a cruise. Where are we going? To the UK?
We're going to Aruba. That's so funny. Oh my God.
Who is the singer who actually died around 26, 27 years old? She had a really thick accent. It's very prominent in her songs, too. Who am I
Oh
thinking?
my God. Who are you thinking?
The black hair, big beehive. Amy Winehouse.
Oh, Amy.
You don't like Amy Winehouse?
I do, you know.
But she had that thick accent.
Yeah, but she wasn't back in the day. I mean, she was like more of a.
You're
a
getting
popular
bookings
singer.
because of this show.
She's more popular singer, was I?
I got JayCee booked
Booked
at
at
Boca
Boca
Point. So excited. Well, what about me? I got nothing to do. I want to go to Boca's Point. Come on now. Book an Aussie over here. Don't drink water while I'm talking. You'll be spitting all over my camera. Okay, so we're talking about what makes somebody want to get into singing, like what makes somebody want to get into stand-up or performances. We love the stage. It's exciting. You can't wait to get on. I actually cannot sing a note, but I love the fact that someone like JayCee can just belt out some badass shit.
I just
So
love it.
where did you start? I mean, where was your launching pad? New York City,
It was actually Long Island.
right?
Now, I'm going to tell you a little story, okay? Not many people know this, okay? But if you really want to know when it all really started, this is really behind the scenes kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No one knows, okay? Only you guys, okay? So, I was, you know, karaoke was like incredibly big back in when I started singing. I got a divorce and whatever, and it was my outlet. I loved doing karaoke. I loved singing, but professionally, I was in fashion. I was in retail. I was in wholesale. I worked for rainbow shops. I worked for rainbow shops for many, many
What does
years.
the Schwata business mean?
Schmata.
Is that what it is?
You mean a schmata is like a schmata is like wearing like a shirt that's like
Clothes.
like a like a little raggy kind of thing.
you
It's
were
a
in that?
schmata. Yeah, so I used to, you know, sell, and oh my God, I was just so into fashion, incredibly. I worked for Oscar de la Renta for a while in Manhattan, and for Accessory Street, and I learned so.
I work for
much.
Sesame Street.
Accessory Street.
I know,
not
it's a
Sesame
joke. I'm a
Street.
comedian. I'll be here all week.
Anyway, to make a long story endless, the way it worked, I
Did you hear that
started
English
singing-
accent?
So I started singing karaoke, and I was singing in a bowling alley on Long Island. I mean, this is like ridiculous. And this woman came over to me and said, "Oh my God, you are fantastic. What a voice you have. You know, we put on shows for our residents at this senior living community. It was like, an independent living, nursing home kind of thing, whatever. And she said, and we do shows all the time. Would you do this professionally, right? And I said, absolutely. And she said, would you come and sing for our residents? I said, of course. Yeah, we set up a date, and I didn't have one stitch of music. I didn't have a sound system. I didn't even have a microphone. I had nothing. And the next day I went out and I bought a whole system. I went into this store in Lindenhurst. I'll never forget it. It was called Music Land. And I went up to the counter and I saw this guy. His name was Artie. I'll never forget it. God rest his soul. He was such a sweetheart. And I said, Artie, you got to hook me up. I need everything. I need music. I need background tracks. I need a microphone. I got to put an hour's worth of music together. And sure enough, I did. And that was my start. And from then, I just branched out, because when you start singing in this type of, venue, all the directors, they all get information from all the other directors on who's new in the circuit. So that's what happened. And then I just started singing, and that's how my career started.
How old were you?
Actually sing. I can't tell you. If I
Oh,
tell you, I
all
have
right.
to kill you. But whatever. And make a long story short, that's where it all started. And I give a lot of kudos to people that get up and sing karaoke, because it is such a great outlet for people that really want to sing and, can't do it, professionally or whatever, but they have fun with it. With me, it turned into, this was my outlet for me, and it got me going. And the rest is history. And now I'm singing on the big stage, and look at me live from my mother's basement with him. Oh my God.
Well, I think it's really wonderful that you got into it that way, and then it naturally progresses.
It did.
And you go into some clubs, and you start doing like the jazz and the blues clubs and the
did.
theaters that are
Birdland.
a lot different than.
Birdland in Manhattan. Oh my God.
Is Birdland something that you? I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, so Birdland, it's been around for like whatever, for at least 50 years. I don't know, something like that. I mean, it's the greatest original jazz club, and everybody has been on that stage. Who's who has been on that stage, and to perform there was such a thrill. I mean, it was incredible.
You
I
had
was there.
your own night and evening with JayCee.
Yeah, I did. I think I played there. I think I had 3 shows lined up before the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit, and I had a show lined up, and then of course, well, I haven't been back since.
Right.
And then in the interim, moved down here, so whatever. But I could always go back to New York and do a show there.
But you were saying that you were inspired to get into it more than anything because of a breakup.
Well, yeah, because that's, music touches your soul, and it's like, it's your outlet. For me, that was the way I got by. That was the way I looked at life, was through a song. For me, every song is a show in itself. And it was my escape from reality. People do all kinds of things to escape from reality.
Now my shows make me want to escape from what I do for a living so I can get a reality going.
Well, you have a
This is
reality
getting
show,
insane.
don't you?
Yeah, this is a reality
This is
show
a
right
reality
here.
show, right?
Here's the reality of stand-up comedy. On a Tuesday night when you got nothing to do, you go over to your friend JC's house and you sit in front of the break front. There's an old school name, a break front. And when I came into the house and I saw that, I said, you know what? That's very old school. This is family. And in my house, in Scotch Plains, everybody knows I have my grandmother's furniture and my great-grandmother's furniture, and my mom's break front is still intact, identical. I don't think she touched it when we lived there. She has all the knives and forks and cups and saucers and dishes from her wedding, and they never came out of the closet. They just sit there, and when my mother used to clean, she would say, "Be careful, you want to break anything in my break front."
Right.
Does anybody even have that terminology anymore, a break front? What do you call it?
What do I call this? I don't even call it a break front. What do I call
Well, what all of these things that in here are, what is that? I mean, I know they're dishes and stuff, but it's called something. Crystal. It's crystal. You crystal. Looks like it's worth millions of dollars.
It's really not. It's like just some things. There are heirlooms. There are definitely heirlooms there from my grandmother, and a lot of and my mother's, because we took like 3 houses and put it into one here, because we had my house, my mother's house, and then this house in Florida. So we had like 3 houses, so we kind of like mished it all into one. So we have so much stuff. I think we have like, a set of 20 dishes and silverware, and like everything is just double and triple.
But it looks really cool, because antiques to me are just the way, they're very stylish. Listen to this. This is coming in from our friends from England. Birdland is named after Charlie Parker, known as Bird.
That's right.
Who established Bob the New Cool Jazz.
Oh my God, you're so right. Yes, Charlie Parker. Yeah, how cool is that?
Somebody just actually said to me, "How was your swim?" That's creepy.
So
Somebody knows I went swimming today.
Well, they were on your
It was
morning
great.
walk.
That's true.
Right?
I forgot. All right.
Yeah. That's cool. See, everybody follows you, Mike. How awesome is that?
Well, we got a lot of cool people who want to talk to you tonight. Right now, what we want, the Uncle Louie Variety Show. Now, I have to do a big shout out to these guys, because they got a great show. And they sing, they dance, they do impersonations. They got crazy wigs that they wear. So, hey guys, they're in Florida right now on tour. So, folks, I would actually plug a few other comedians that I think are great, but these guys are really outstanding. The Uncle Louie Variety Show. You got to check it out. So, hey guys, how you doing? It's Cyril DiPaggio. Nice to see you guys. I'm glad you're all hanging out. This is one of my favorite entertainers, and we've done so many shows together. When you think about what it's like to perform, not together, but on the same stage, in the same show, it's really wonderful. When she would come out and sing some incredible songs, I would be backstage calling other people saying, "Hey, you got to listen to my friend JayCee's on stage singing." I used to do that all the time. I would call my mother,
cool.
"Mom, JayCee's on stage. Oh, did you eat? No, she's singing. She's singing." Because you know how old school people are.
Yeah.
Then I would say to my brother, "You got to see this. You got to be part of this. You got to come and join us." So it's really wonderful. Now, I've seen you sing some of your favorite artists, but tonight I found out that you have original songs, because we have to do some original stuff.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people out there watching right now would probably like to hear that. So why don't we jump into one and tell us how this original song started and where you come up with the ideas? Because I could write jokes all day long. Usually the jokes come from what I see. I could never write a song. I wish I could write a song. I want to write a song. I want to say, "Oh, my darling, Clementine.
You probably
Can I have a piece of
could.
watermelon?" Where do you get this shit from?
No, but you could probably write a song, because it's really like your comedy. It's all about life, what you see and what you go through. That's what music is all about. You're just putting it, putting music to it and lyrics to it. This particular song that I'm doing is on my my CD, which is right over here, which is called JayCee, I Finally Arrived. And this was done, I have to tell you, back in 2000. And if you could see on the front of it, you can see the Twin Towers are there.
Wow.
So it's a collector's
Yeah.
item. And look at that hair. Come on.
Look at the hair,
that
right?
hair.
I'm really gonna
Did
take
I
it down
tell
memory
you
lane.
that I like big hair? This is Staten Island hair, Jersey hair. I love big hair. And my cousin, this is all in the family, my cousin David Birkin was the composer of the music. And he's no longer with us, unfortunately. But the music lives on.
The music always lives on.
Lives on. And it's something I always wanted to have, something original, because it's wonderful to sing everybody else's songs. I mean, I do a lot of covers. My favorite singer, of course, is Barbra Streisand, and I'm a big lover of Shirley Bassey. She is like, oh my God, I love her as well. I just did a tribute to Shirley Bassey.
JayCee is such a
I
big
just-
fan of Barbara
I
Streisand
do.
that the computer is on 3 Barbara Streisand books, making it high enough for us to do the interview.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Sing,
That's so
Babs,
true.
sing. My Passion for Design by Barbara Streisand. Popple.
It's so true. But
All right.
in any event, so my cousin, I got together with my cousin and we collaborated and we decided to join forces so that I could do a CD, an original CD. And, although jazz is not what I'm known for when I go out and I perform in a lot of these theaters and communities, because I have the big, powerful Broadway belter type of voice. But this is kind of like on another side of me. So I like variety. I like being able to do a little bit of everything, because to me it would be so boring if I had to sing the same songs over and over and over again. That's what I love to do. And I do have quite a following. And I think my followers would be bored if they had to hear me do the same songs all
Well, right now we got a lot of
time,
people who are
so.
followers who would love to hear you sing a song.
All
So why don't
right,
you
so-
set it up and pretend we're on the Tonight Show and let's bang it out. We are going to cue up the band and get ready to
Okay.
do a song, and hopefully we won't explode my laptop.
Okay, so this song is one of my favorites off of JayCee, I Finally Arrived, and it's called Melody. It's track number 5. Here we go. Melody, I hear that haunting melody. It's in my every reverie. It says we'll never part. Can't you see that we can spend eternity? Our lives are really meant to be together from the start. No one else could fill my life with ecstasy. No one else, it seems, could make me care. What is left is just a memory that's so empty and so unfair. Melody, I'll write another melody, and this time from the start you'll see. I'll write it from the heart, and words that say, come to me, stay with me. Won't you stay with me? Shoo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Shoo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. No one else could fill my life with ecstasy. No one else, it seems, could make me care. What is left is just a memory that's so empty and so unfair. Melody, I'll write another melody, and this time from the start you'll see. I'll write it from the heart, and words that say, come to me. me, come to me, come to me, stay with me, stay with me, stay with me.
Wow. Look at all those letters. Holy smokes. JayCee is the second coming of Liza with her big, beautiful voice. Oh, thank you,
thank
England.
you.
Thank you, Patrick.
That
I
was in
appreciate that.
England.
I told you it was worth staying up past 1
In
o'clock.
England.
We're going to do one more, too, so stay
I
tuned. Don't
wanna
go to
come
bed.
To sing in England.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great? We would like to come to England.
Both of us
We
will
could come together.
Yes, we'll have a blast.
It really sucks when people don't come together. And we'll be right back after this commercial break. All right. It's funny. I've heard and watched JayCee sing that song for a long time, and I never knew it was an original song.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really great.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, I do remember so many times watching you sing that song, and I would call my mother. Like, Mom, you got to hear this. You got to hear this. And then there were
Thank
sometimes
you.
I actually would FaceTime some people too, and I'm like, ow, you got to hear this.
That's definitely one of my favorites on the CD. And I do. I told you I was doing a talk show, right?
Yes.
I was,
Yeah.
at the studio, they love that song.
Oh, is that
so
right?
They play it all the time.
Even when you're not there.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
At
you
the
better
studio,
get some
which is-
money for that.
Which is kind of cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the talk show.
thinking.
Right now, we were talking before we started tonight's show about sound checks and who needs one and who really doesn't. And there's a lot of comedians, sometimes in some theaters, the sound check really should just be given to the singer. She asked the sound guy questions that they don't even make sense to me. I remember one night you were saying, I need more effects.
Yeah.
And you were like, I need more effects. And the guy goes, how about Mike? You need any effects? I go, what effect? What? I'm not affected by anything. What the hell are you all talking about? Because we really don't. Here's my sound check. Testing. Thank you.
And that was it.
We'll be back later. But the sound check can be really extremely important to a singer.
It's very important. And you know what I find? It's weird. It's like you have a sound check, it sounds great. And then when you go and do the live show, it's different than what it was when you did the sound check.
Yes.
Why?
How does that even happen?
I think it happens because the
They hit the
people,
button.
either that or what happens is,
They don't like us.
the people fill the room. When you're doing a sound check, the theater's empty. Okay, so the sound's going to be different. So when you have 500 people that are filling in the theater, they suck up all the air. So it's like the sound changes. So you have to figure
Is
out
it the
how to
air, or
adjust.
is it they're bouncing off
Air,
their body?
I don't know what it is, but it changes.
Yeah.
And if the sound guy is not, doing what he's supposed to do, it can be a little frustrating for the singer.
Sound technicians these days in some of these
They
theaters.
can make and break your show.
And
There's
they're-
no doubt
they're-
about it.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I go on stage after a singer and I get to use their situation, I'm like, wow, is that what that sounds like? It's in my feet. It's in my feet. I really like it. So it's a really cool thing, and we all get to experience that.
I always say to the sound guy, I was like, oh, I like my mic, I like it wet. And that always seems to always get a laugh.
Yes,
I don't know why.
she actually has her own microphone. She brings it to
Oh,
shows.
always, I always
Show
take my
everybody
own
the
mic.
sleeve.
Yeah, well, this is my, I like bling, glitter, diamonds. Yeah, gotta have diamonds.
There's some people writing in from Australia right now, and our England friend is actually saying, we will go to the pier in Blackpool. It's just like Atlantic City. I will try to find the booking details for your agent and book you guys in Blackpool. But we would love to come to
Oh, I
Blackpool.
can't wait. Is it this year? Can we do it this year?
Can we bring some donuts? That's really, really cool. But I tell you, sometimes, I was explaining to somebody today, entertainers get work if they do a good show every night. Because when you're done performing, someone will approach you and say, hey, where are you
I saw
performing
you.
next?
Yeah.
Or
That's
could you,
true.
or would you, what's going on? And that's the actual joy of this
And
this
that's
business.
why you always do 100% every single show, whether there's
bring your A
five
game.
people in the audience or 5,000. It doesn't matter. You always have to be on your game because for that particular reason, you just never know who's in the audience.
You never know who's in the audience, and you never know where your next gig's going to come from. So I'm going to read
Always.
this really quick while everybody's listening and watching. Richard Geist just wrote in here on Facebook. Hi, Mike. It's Richie. I met you at the Funky Biscuit. I'm friends with the guy in Turnstiles.
Oh, the Turnstiles.
You know the Turnstiles?
Well, I know of them. I don't know them personally, but they're fantastic.
They're fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
So here's a bunch of guys who do a tribute to
Billy
Billy
Joel,
Joel.
yeah.
And they
Amazing.
are outstanding.
Amazing.
And I met them on a cruise ship.
Oh, how cool is that?
And so the night that they were performing was the night after I had done a set, and the lead singer was impersonating me. And he kept on going, get the bat, let that marinate, let that marinate. And I'm
Oh
like,
my
wow,
God.
this guy must have really liked my show. And he kept on going, I can't stop thinking about that comedian.
That's awesome.
So we went to go see him here at the Funky Biscuit.
Oh,
and it was really cool.
cool.
So Richard, thank you very much for
Very
remembering it.
cool.
It was very nice to meet you guys. And now that I'm even going to think about that, the Funky Biscuit, did you ever think of playing there? Do you know it?
I've heard of it.
It's
but
a
I didn't
cool
know if
ass
that would-
venue.
I didn't know. If
We
that would
should
work
do the
for
funky
me.
business. The
Let's-
funky business.
We'll do
the
funky
Bis-
business at the Funky Biscuit.
Yes.
Let's do some funky
Yeah,
business
I
at
would.
the Funky Biscuit.
And now that I mentioned the word biscuit, I got hungry.
Have a donut.
Yes, we're going to go into some food right now because you know we always talk food and maybe have some food on the show. One thing that certain Italian people and Jewish people could never do is go to somebody else's house without something in their hands.
Yeah.
And we always called it, you got to bring something. We can't go empty-handed.
Never.
So I came over to JayCee's house with Entenmann's crumb cake. See this little piece? Mm-hmm. It was cut by one of our friends who is here, but we can't say too much about people here because we're alone, because we're still doing COVID stuff. Look at the little piece that she cut for me. What the hell's that all about? It's a good thing I didn't smoke any weed. This would have been like a peanut. So anyway, crumb cake. And then we come over here.
And then I
And
cannot
what is-
not have anything here for my buddy Mike because I
Tell
know
everybody.
how much he loves his sweets. Normally when I go to a show, I usually bring him cookies. So, but I didn't bring him cookies today, so I did donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts.
I know he likes jelly
Dunkin' Donuts.
donuts.
There's a jelly donut right here. I couldn't wait. I had to bite it before I went on camera. But, I mean, am I the only one that does this? You ever get a jelly donut and you see the hole where the jelly is? And I put my tongue in it and then I bite like that. In goes the tongue. Is this sexual?
This is great. Oh my God, this is so great.
Like a lizard.
This is so fun.
Speaking of lizard, did you see in the news? This lady got eaten by an alligator. It's a bug.
Oh, we got
Hi,
a
Mike.
bug.
Hi, JayCee.
Oh, look
Saw
at
her
this.
at John Byrne Park in Long Island.
Oh my God. Oh, Rose.
Isn't she amazing?
Oh, Rose.
Hi, Rose.
Rose, that was the greatest show. A salute to America with my 6-piece band. 8,000 people at John J. Burns Park. Oh my God. That was 3 years ago. It was 2019, right before everything hit the, you know what? Shit hit the fan, I guess.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yes, you can curse as
Oh my
much as
God,
you want.
Am I allowed
This
to
is the
say that?
cleanest show I've ever done.
Oh my God, that
I'm
was
trying to be
one of
respectful because I'm at Jay-Z's house.
That was one of my favorite shows ever. I did. It was Salute to America and the Divas. It was just a mix of heartfelt patriotic songs and of course some of my favorite divas. Barbra Streisand, Bette Midler, Cher, and then they had Gucci fireworks after the show was over. Oh, it was incredible. It was just incredible.
It's an unbelievable place. And the only reason why I know is because I was Robert Davi's opening act at that place.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. Would you guys
No,
there?
no. That wasn't that. It
was all outdoors.
Wait, that was Eisenhower Park. I think you were at.
I don't know. Chaz
I don't think you were
Palminteri
at
was
John.
there.
You were. I don't think it was John J. Burns. I think it was Eisenhower Park. You were there.
And whoever the mayor
We
of
went
Long
to that
Island was
show.
there.
We went to that show.
Where was I?
You were at.
Did you ever
Eisenhower
stop to
Park.
think about how many shows you've
Oh
done?
my God, so many. I can't
You
even
think about
remember.
it. It's in the millions. Well, not in the millions,
Well,
but
not in the
what would it
millions.
be?
Wouldn't be in the millions, but
If you did 300 a year times a long time,
I always try and think like what was my favorite show, and my favorite venue. I mean, I definitely the Salute to America and John J. Burns is way up there because I mean it was in front of 8,000 people and it was 90 minutes show, 8,000. It was like, oh my God, it was unbelievable. It was great.
I don't know if I could say I have a favorite show or a favorite place. I could just say I've had extremely insane, memorable moments
Yeah.
that I'll never forget.
Yeah, true.
Because I love wherever I go.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can
I'm
perform
right
in
there
front
with
of
you.
10,000 people and be
Yep.
high as a kite.
Yep.
The next night I'll stand in front of 30 people and say, okay, let's bring it.
Yeah, it's true. People say that to me all the time. I do everything from singing at a backyard private party in somebody's home or whatever, or to a beautiful resort in the Grand Mayan in Nuevo Vallarta, to the gated communities
You
in
sang at the
Florida.
Mayan ruins?
I sang at the Grand Mayan at the Santorio, which was in Nuevo Vallarta. I was there for 3 months in Mexico. It was gorgeous. That was
I went
beautiful.
by the Mayan
gorgeous,
ruins.
Gorgeous.
I got off a cruise ship and I'm like, these people have ruined this place. Must have been nice.
Oh my God.
That's not funny. All right, fuck it.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. That was definitely a great
I'm
gig.
being in Italian what we call a little bit of a gavone right now because I can't stop eating these delicious donuts. And that jelly donut, I'm sorry, it trumped the crumb cake.
Oh my
It
God.
trumped the crumb cake. Oh, look at this. I love all of your shows, JayCee.
Oh,
and I
my
have
God.
been to so many.
Aw, thank
Hi,
you,
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Hi,
Aw,
Charlotte.
That's nice.
Well, we're
Thank
going to take
you.
some questions for
Ooh,
JayCee, but I think we could
questions.
lead into that by listening to another song.
Ah,
Can we do that?
we can.
JayCee's not
And-
eating any donuts because she doesn't want to have any.
Yes, for me, I don't eat before I sing. Never. Because, you never know what's going to come out. You got to be careful.
I always eat before I sing so I can have an excuse for sounding like shit. That was really funny. I should write that down. She's going to have a nice little bit of water.
Okay, so this
Set us
song,
up.
okay, so this song, another original, because like we are doing originals
Originals.
tonight, because, that's the world of the internet. You have to make sure you are not stepping on anybody else's toes, kind of thing. So this song was written by a guy, oh my God, his name just like popped out of my head. Larry Kirchner, and he is from New York, and he is an incredible songwriter. And, I have to give a shout out to Larry because wait a minute, what happened?
Someone just wrote into the show that Dr. Rabani is watching this show.
Okay, who's
He-
that? Who's
He's the
Dr.
guy who's got
Rabani?
me on cholesterol lowering medication.
Oh my God, and you're reading
He's
this?
watching me.
No way. Well, you're in big trouble, buddy. That's all I can say. He's in big trouble.
My fellow comedian Marco Asante
That's very funny.
is writing to us right now from Los Angeles, California, breaking my balls that my doctor, his doctor, Rabani, is watching me eat donuts.
That's
And he
very
knows I
funny.
have high cholesterol. All right.
Very funny. So, in any event, I just wanted to give a shout out to Larry because, there are people that do things without expecting anything in return. There's a saying called pay it forward, okay? And I have a lot of friends in this business that believe in that, and I am a true believer in that. You always try and help the next person as much as you can. This guy has given me music, sent me music, charts, songs, tracks, everything, just wants me to sing his music without expecting anything in return. So Larry, I love the way you write. You're incredible. It's an honor for me to sing your music, and this is definitely one of my favorites. I kind of put my own little twist on it because that's just who I am. I never sing it the way it's written. Just can't do it. But so here it is. It's a beautiful song, and it's called "Can't Stay Away from You." So here we go. Is it love or is it me? Am I blind or just can't see? You can say that we're through, but I just can't stay away from you. Baby, please, no, I don't want to go. Kiss me once, no, kiss me twice. Might not be love, but still it's nice. Yes, it's sad, but it's true that I can't stay away from you. I might try, but I don't know how, 'cause I live just for you. Where's my sense of pride? I'm dying here inside. I don't want to be like those others I see. I never thought this could happen to me. So it all comes down to this. Do I go or do we kiss? Well, there ain't nothing new. Still I can't stay away from you. Woo. It's the musical interlude.
Is that what it's called, an interlude?
That's an interlude. Look at me, all alone again. My whole world is upside down. Nothing's what it seems. I'm hanging on to dreams. I can't take the pain 'cause it cuts like a knife. Please, baby, please, this is no kind of life. Maybe soon I'll find a way. It just won't be today. 'Cause no matter what I do, I just can't stay away from you. No, I can't. No, I can't. No, I can't. I can't stay away from you.
Wow. Wow. Look at all those
Thank you.
comments. Holy
Aw.
smokes. Keep them coming, ladies and
Thank
gentlemen.
you.
I appreciate that. And I'm sure JC loves reading and looking at all these comments.
Thank
Look
you.
at this one. JC, you sound beautiful, but I think you and Mike need a glass of wine. Oh, look at this is the way somebody's clapping by writing, clapping, clapping.
Aw,
All
that's
right.
nice.
Thank you so much. JC, do
Thank
an
you.
evening of original songs in Blackpool. The last American to perform there was Britney Spears.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Guys, let's take some questions. Anybody want to ask a question for the legendary JC, who is sitting here right now? And we'll talk about where she's going to be performing next so that you guys can see her live in person. You got a lot of great comments from Joan, Suzanne,
Hi, Joan.
Patrick,
Oh, how nice.
Joe,
Thanks, guys.
Federosa.
That is so
That's
awesome. Italy.
Yeah.
I'd love to go to Italy.
We'd love to go to everywhere around the world to perform.
Yeah, can we get out of Florida already?
What was your favorite venue and favorite person you performed with and or for? That's coming from Joe. He has a restaurant in New Jersey called Buenos Aires.
Oh, my favorite venue. Again, it's like so hard because I've done so many amazing venues and worked with so many incredible people. I mean, like this guy. You know, I love doing shows with
We
this
have a
guy.
lot of fun
We just have so much fun.
because, you know,
yeah. I mean,
it's just, it's,
that's hard. I can't talk about somebody else when I'm with him because, you know, I love him.
we heckle each other from off stage too.
We do. The last show we were in, I was laughing so hard. Backstage, I was like, oh my God, I hope he can't hear. I hope that they can't hear me. It's like, I was like, oh, it was just so funny. He's just so funny.
Charlotte Lustig wants to know if you need a backup singer.
I have a couple of backup singers, thank you, love. I'm working on a new show called Fabulous Females of Pop Rock, actually. Music of the 60s and 70s, like Petula Clark and Linda Ronstadt and Dusty Springfield, and music like that, which I love.
How do you pick the other entertainers?
You mean the backup singers? Well, I had to interview quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
I
do they
have a
have to
couple
go
of
through
girls that are just fabulous. They're
They go
just
through
wonderful.
an audition
a
process?
Yes, I audition them, and yeah, and they're great. So we're working on that, and it's a new show. It's going to be fun, definitely. But you know, I'm going to be putting a video together of that show in a couple of months, and very exciting. Lots of new stuff. You know, I was talking to you earlier saying how you have to constantly reinvent yourself in this business, especially as a singer. So you always have to do new material, work on new stuff. And that's ergo where I went into starting a talk show every other Thursday.
Well, yes, I don't know if we talked about that.
Every other Thursday night. So that's in 2 days. I'll be on my own talk show, which is the JayCee Driesen Show, which is on Facebook and all social media, YouTube and Roku and Twitter and Spotify and oh my goodness. And I'm on 6 radio stations simulcast from Miami to Fort Pierce. I don't even know. You got to go on my Facebook page, JayCee.
Well, tell everybody where
Yeah.
your Facebook page is.
JayCee
Tell everybody
Driesen.
your
JayCee
social.
Driesen, which is JayCeeDriesen.
I never spelled it out. I always spelled
Yeah,
JayCee.
J with a C.
A J and a C. Folks, you got to spell it
Yeah,
out.
you got to spell out JayCee. I used to be JayCee, but that was a long time ago. And when I was in onto management, they said to me, "You cannot keep your initials because when we book you as JayCee, we don't know if we're booking a boy or a girl. So you have to." They wanted me to go back to my original name, which is Jill, and I was like, but everyone knows me as JayCee, so no, I'm not going back to Jill. But what I will do is I'll spell out JayCee, JAY, capital CEE, because I don't think there's a guy that's got that kind of name. Do you? You think there'd be a guy named
I don't know. I don't want to touch
JayCee?
none of that stuff. I don't know acronyms, and I don't know
don't
whether
know.
it's a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
Just
Is it
okay.
politically correct? I
No,
don't-
you
yeah.
can't even ask that question.
Yeah. Oh my God.
JC's coming. Is it a boy or a girl? What?
I know, you could get in trouble.
It's a robot.
Right. So in any event, so that's why, so it's JayCee Driesen on Facebook. And you could also go on my website, which is jcdriesen.com, very simple, and see upcoming shows and stuff like that. I know I'm doing besides my TV show, and it's kind of fun. It's only a half hour. I mean, I love doing this because this is like an hour, and this is great because in a half hour I run out of time. It's so fast. I do a couple of songs, and then either sometimes I have a guest, and sometimes I don't have enough time to have a guest, so I'll sing another song. And
I want to be on her talk show.
I want you to be
I
on
come out
my
from
show.
behind the curtain and I do like a 4.5 minute stand-up set like I did back in the day
want you to.
on the old school
I
talk shows.
totally want you to.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I have a segment called In the Tea with JayCee. And that means, and we sit and we schmooze a little bit about, current events or whatever we want to talk about. And then I have another segment called Pet Peeves, because God knows we all have pet peeves.
Oh, I hate a lot of
And I always
people.
like to hear what your pet peeve is. So I ask people to write into the show and let me know what their pet peeves are and stuff like that. So it's kind of fun. And that's every other Thursday.
Every other. I do it every Tuesday. You know why? Because I got nothing to do on Tuesdays. That's my night off. That's why we pick doing podcasts on Tuesday. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have to get going. We've been having a lot of fun.
It's over?
It goes really, really fast. That's a whole hour
Oh my
of
God.
us just kibitzing. She says tea time. I say coffee time and kombitzing. Kombitzing,
so
combatzing.
fast.
It goes fast as shit. I want to thank JayCee for letting us come over to her home.
But I didn't
I want to
tell
thank the
them.
band. Go ahead.
I didn't tell them about Kings Point and the Palace Theater.
What are we doing? You're doing it?
March 26th.
On March 26th.
Yes, it's a Sunday afternoon.
It's a Sunday. You got
and
nothing to
2
do.
p.m.
2.
And I'm going to be there with 5-piece live band. It's going to be awesome. You got to come. And, oh, you know what? And I'm going on my cruise March 11th to March 19th. 2 cabins just opened up. So if anybody wants to go, you can hop on the cruise with us. Let me know.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
How do they get tickets for the March show?
They have to go to the box office at Kings Point and Tamarack, the Palace Theater.
You have to go to the box office.
Yes.
Purchase yourself some tickets
Yes.
there, and you can get some crimpets.
Yes.
Crimpets.
Did
Here
I get it
America,
all in?
I think you did.
Got it all in.
It fit.
Yay!
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get going. Thank you so much for tuning in to Live from My Mother's Basement.
love this man.
Here. We're in an undisclosed location in some place called Lake Worth, something, Florida. It's a nice day, and we're going to stay away from the water because we don't want to get eaten by an alligator.
Oh, my God.
I hope you guys will tune in next
They're
Tuesday
very-
night and watch the next show. We're going to have another great guest on the show. I don't really know who it's going to be, but I'm sure it's going to be something fantastic. Let's do a nice big shout out to my producer for always making the show come along just as
Yes.
best as it possibly could.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Tatiana Bluchel, for
Yes.
making sure the show comes out the way it's supposed to every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. You can watch us again and again and again in the future right here on Facebook, right here on Instagram, and also iTunes, Google, Spotify, Anchor, Italian American Radio out of New York City, my YouTube channel, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Patreon. I'm on every platform you could think of. Right now, I'm actually sitting on a platform. It's called a chair.
You are.
We will see you again. Remember, let's make America Italian again. The motto is always going to be, you don't know nothing, you don't see nothing, you don't say nothing. And how do I end every single one of my podcasts? By always saying the same thing with my guests. Don't take no shit from nobody. You ready?
Yeah.
Don't take no shit from nobody. That was really good the way you did it. I like that. A lot of people mess it up every once in a while. Hey folks, I hope you're enjoying watching my podcast live from my mother's basement. We're having a lot of fun, and I'm going to have a lot of great guests on the show in the future. So if you like it, hit like. You could also leave a comment. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch other funny videos. And you could also listen to my podcast on your favorite podcast app like Spotify and iTunes.